I'm in love with Cecily, and that's everything. But I must see her before I go and make arrangements for another bundler. Ah, there she is.
Oh, I merely came back for a picnic. I thought you were with Uncle Jack.
He's gone to order the dog cart for me.
Is he going to take you for a nice drive?
He's going to send me away.
Then have we got to part?
I'm afraid so. It's a very painful parting.
It's always painful to part from people who one has known for a very brief space of time. The absence of old friends one can endure with equanimity, but even momentary separation from anyone to whom one has just been introduced is almost unbearable.
Thank you.
The dog cart is at the door, sir.
It can wait, Marion, for 5 minutes.
Yes,
I hope, Cecily, that I shall not offend you if I state quite frankly and openly that you seem to me to be in every way the visible personification of absolute perfection.
I think your frankness does you great credit, Ernest. If you allow me, I will copy your remarks into my diary.
Do you really keep a diary? I'd give anything to see it. May I?
Oh, no. You see, it is simply a very young girl's record of all thoughts and impressions. Consequently meant for publications. When it appears in a volume form, I hope you order a copy. Don't stop. I still haven't taken down from dictation. I have reached absolute perfection. You can go on now. I'm quite ready for more. Ernest, don't cough. When one is dictating, one should speak fluently and not cough. Besides, I don't know how to spell cough.
Ever since I first set eyes upon your wonderful and incomparable beauty, I have dared to love you wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly.
Oh, I don't think you should tell me that you love me wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly. Hopelessly doesn't seem to make much sense, does it?
Cecily,
the dog cart is waiting, sir.
that would come round next week at the same hour.
Yes, sir.
Uncle Jack will be very much annoyed if he knew you were staying on till next week at the same hour.
I don't care about Jack. I don't care about anyone in the whole world but you. I love you, Cecily. You will marry me, won't you?
Yes, of course, you silly boy. Why, you haven't engaged for the last 3 months.
For the last 3 months.
Yes, it will be exactly 3 months on Thursday.
And how did we become engaged?
Well, ever since dear Uncle Jack first confessed to us that he had a younger brother who was very wicked and bad, you, of course, have formed the chief topic of conversation between myself and Miss Prism. And of course, a man who is much talked about is always very attractive. One feels there must be something in him after all. I dare say it was foolish of me, but I fell in love with you, Ernest.
No. And when was the engagement actually settled?
On the 14th of February last. Worn out by your entire ignorance of my existence, I determined to end the matter one way or the other. And after a long struggle with myself, I accepted you under this dear old tree. And the next day I bought this little ring in your name. Oh, and this is a little bangle with a true lover's knot that I promised you always to wear.
Did I get you this? It's very pretty, isn't it?
Yes, you've wonderfully good taste, Ernest. It's the excuse I've always given for you leading such a bad life. And this is the box in which I keep all your dear letters.
My letters? But, my own dear Cecily, I've never written you any letters.
You'd hardly remind me of that, Ernest. I remember only too well that I was forced to write your letters for you. I wrote always 3 times a week and sometimes often.
Do let me read them, Cecily.
No, it will make you far too conceited. Besides, the 3 you wrote me after I'd broken off the engagement are so beautiful and so badly spelled. Even now, I can hardly read them without crying a little.
But was our engagement ever broken off?
Of course it was. On the 22nd of last March. You can see the entry if you like. I broke off my engagement with Ernest. I feel it is better to do so.
But
The weather still continues charming.
why on earth did you break it off? What had I done? I'd done nothing at all, Cecily. I'm very hurt indeed to hear that you broke it off. Particularly when the weather was so charming.
It would hardly have been a serious engagement if it hadn't been broken off at least once. But I forgave you before the week was out. Cookie?
What a perfect angel you are, Cecily.
Dear romantic boy. I hope your hair curls naturally, does it?
Yes, darling, with a little help from others.
I'm so glad.
You'll never break off our engagement again, Cecily?
I don't think I can now that I've actually met you. Besides, there's a question of your name.
Yes, of course.
You must not laugh at me, darling, but it had always been a girlish dream of mine to love someone whose name, Ernest. There's something in that name that inspires absolute confidence, and I pity any married woman whose husband's not called Ernest.
But, my dear child, do you mean to say that you couldn't love me if I had some other name?
Well, what name?
Oh, any name you like. Algernon, for instance.
But I don't like the name of Algernon.
But my own dear, sweet, loving little darling, I really don't see why you should object to the name of Algernon. It isn't at all a bad name. In fact, it is a rather aristocratic name. Half the chaps that get into the bankruptcy court are called Algernon. But really, Cecily, if my name was Algie, couldn't you love me then?
I might respect you, Ernest, and I admire your character, but I fear that I should not be able to give you my undivided attention.
Cecily, your rector here is, I suppose, thoroughly experienced in the practices of the rites and ceremonials of the church.
Oh, yes. Dr. Charles the most learned man. He has never written a single book, so you can imagine how much he knows.
I must see you once on a most important christening. On most important business.
Oh.
Well, I shan't be away for more than half an hour.
Considering that we have been engaged since February the 14th and we've only met for the first time today, I think it is rather hard for you to leave me so long as a period of half an hour. Could you make it into 20 minutes?
I'll be back before you know it.
What a little impetuous boy he is. I like his hair so much. Oh, I must enter his proposal in my diary.